Diddy is going to have to get off on a hung jury or just totally scot-free. Because at first I was thinking, oh, well, you know what? They may find him guilty, but he'll get out on time served. But that's not a possibility because it's a minimum of 15 years. So that means if he is found guilty, it's a minimum of 15 years. Through my understanding. I still don't believe that these charges are RICO. Like, I didn't even hear the word RICO before this whole entire case began, to be honest with you. I didn't even like Diddy before this whole case even started. I was like, yeah, I believe he did those things, but I don't believe that it's RICO. Some of the jurors are going to be like, that's not really sex driving, if you get what I mean. Some of the jurors are going to be like, no. Sorry, Cassie, that happened to you. Sorry, Jane Doe, that happened to you. But that is not sex driving. Let's put a pin in that and talk about that more near the end of the video. I want to talk about more of the relevant thing on the table, which is bribery. When he was at the hotel, you know, that infamous hotel video with him and Cassie, where he is hitting her. That's a horrible situation, you know, and he's drunk and, you know, I guess she's hung over. I don't know the situation, but the thing is, after the fact, because he's not getting charged with hitting her. That video was just proof that there was something that he did called bribery. Now, we're going to read what bribery means, okay, together. Let's read what it means because I had to look it up. I was like, that's not really bribing to me. That's just looking out for yourself. But here's bribery. Bribery is the act of offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting something of value, typically money, gifts, favors, or other benefits, to influence the actions or decisions of someone in position of power or authority. The person offering the bribe seeks to gain an unfair advantage or favorable treatment that they wouldn't otherwise receive through legitimate means. Okay. But Diddy was not really bribing anyone. It's not like they called the police. It's not like they said, oh, you know what? The police are called and Diddy's like, oh, here, you know what? Give me that video, man. I'm going to give you some money. Shh, don't tell the police. So I don't really see where bribery comes in at, you know? I see that as protecting his image. He's like, yo, I had too much to drink last night. I don't even know what's on that video. Cassie, hurry up and get here. We need to do some damage control. That's what I see that as, damage control. So the sex driving out of the picture, well, we're going to get to that. Bribery, if the jurors look at it like, listen, this is a man who is used to having to clean up things afterwards, you know, a lot of damage control because of his behavior or whatever, then that's all he was doing. He was stopping the process of something before it started. And that's how I see it. I don't see that he was trying to bribe anyone. I don't see, at first they're like, no, we're not going to give you the video, you know, and he convinced them. Yeah, of course, he convinced them. He's like, yo, listen, you know who I am. You know what my image is like. I can't let that get out. You know, can you be my angel? And they're like, all right. And they took the 100,000. Now, that video wasn't even about to come out. It's only because Diddy got charged that video actually surfaced, right? Otherwise, it probably would never have surfaced. At the end of the day, it's not like he bribed these people against the police, like to gain favor from them. He convinced them. He's like, yo, my position, I just can't let that video get out. Thank you for letting me get that video back. So I don't really, if I was in the jury box, I would think to myself, I don't know if that's bribery. If it came out that the police showed up and they're like, hey, you laid hands on Cassie. And then, the hotel was like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And Diddy's like, here, pay me. I'll pay you and I'll take that video. Shh, don't say anything to the police. Then I would be like, ooh, that's bribery, right? Because he is getting something, and it is in the eye of illegal entanglement, I would say, if the police are involved, but the police weren't even involved. Cassie didn't even want the cops called. They both wanted this squashed, and he just wanted that video because it was proof of what he did. And what he did was horrible. Let's face it. It was awful. I'm not negating that. I'm not trying to downplay that. Come on. I said it already in another video. A man laid hands on me before, twice, 2 different men. And I skedaddled, and these men weren't even wealthy. I've dated wealthy men in my day. I'm 53 years old right now, okay? So now let's get to the sex driving thing. I don't think these girls were forced into it. I was a young woman at once, and I had my pick of the crop, and I dated very wealthy men, and I wanted a wealthy man for provisions, to provide me with something. Yeah, I was a go-getter. I was someone that was very self-sufficient, independent. I was able to do it on my own, just like Cassie and Jane Doe. They were getting things done without Diddy, okay? They had their thing going on. But when you have a man that has billions, and I've never dated a billionaire. Yes, I've dated millionaires, but never a billionaire. When you're dating a man that has billions, he has the ability to take you higher a lot faster. Okay, now, of course, Jane Doe, she went on to doing OnlyFans, and she's making her money and she's doing her thing. If that's what she fell back on, I'm not blaming her. I'm not trying to put her down. Now, Diddy, he was also with Cassie when she was younger, and she did what she did. Both of these women have receipts against them saying that they actually did these intimacy parties on their own as well. But okay, it doesn't matter, right? A lot of people are like, so what if they did those intimacy parties on their own? He forced them at certain times to do it against their will. But that's his word against theirs. And the jury does not have to believe that part. The jury can say, well, we don't know, because by the videos, we can see that he's directing them and the girls are pretty all right, He didn't force any type of medication down their throat. He's not smacking them up in the videos. As I've never seen these intimacy videos, but by what the jury would see, the jury would be like, yo, these girls had their option, and the jury is a wide range of ages, going all the way to, I believe, 64 or something of that nature, all the way from, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but all the way from late 20s to late 60s. That's a wide range of people right there. So those are people who have lived their lives and people who are just starting to live their life. For me, I have been there and I have done it in regards to dating a man with power. And I have noticed that most people who are wealthy or most people who are in power, they do have an entitlement, an air of entitlement that they live their lives by. And not everyone. There are some very humble, wealthy people, very humble, powerful people. You wouldn't even know they're powerful. But let me give you an example. I live in the Dominican Republic, as many of you do know. I've been living here for 7 years, and the part of the Dominican Republic that I live in is known very popularly around the world as a place where men come to pay to play. Now, these ladies, I see them. Okay, they walk on the main street of Pedro Clisante. I see them here in the area, the local area that I live in, and they are making their money. Nobody is forcing them to do anything. Most of them are drawn to men that have more money. Most of the women don't want to waste their time laying down with a man that's going to negotiate with them how much they're going to pay them. And a lot of these ladies, when they get with a man that's going to pay them what they feel they're worth, and keep in mind, it's the Dominican Republic, so the men are paying a lot less than what they would be paying around the world in, like, Canada, where I'm from, or the United States. Now, these women, once they meet a man that is kind, generous, giving, he's going to come every single time when no pun intended, when he arrives here, he's going to call her up. He's her regular. He brings gifts for her children if she has children, for her sick mom or her grandmother if she has family, okay? This is just the way it goes. And a lot of these women are younger, and they like to be with the men that have more money so the men can provide more. And a lot of these women will actually even do more favors, intimate favors, if you know what I mean, because they are aware that this man is kind with his money, and quite possibly the relationship that they have, whether it is intimacy based or even love based, he has the ability to give her a green card, so to speak, if he's American, or a visa if he's Canadian, okay? A lot of these women are aware of that. So yes, they will bend over backwards because they are willing to do favors in order to gain favors. Now let's take it away from the Dominican Republic and let's just talk about downtown Toronto, where I'm from. I used to be on the radio in downtown Toronto, on a radio station. I won't name the radio station right now, but a radio station, and it was a very popular radio station, urban music. It was the only black radio station in Toronto, I believe in Ontario. I believe in Canada at the time. And so it was an urban hip-hop R&B station, okay? A lot of the ladies that worked behind the scenes and on the air would get very excited when a man would come into the building that was famous. I saw Mary J. Blige one morning. I saw Tony, one of them. I don't know which one it was, the skinny one. Raphael, I think his name is. I got excited. I have another YouTube channel. It's called Cerise Fairfax, my first and last name. And it is based on the Dominican Republic. You can check it out. I would love for you to go there and subscribe. I help people to move to the Dominican Republic. I help them find apartments. I do story time. And I love that channel. And I'll tell you something, because of the town that I live in, it's a small town. When a lot of people come here to visit, whether they're women or men, whether they're just coming to be tourists, long-term, short-term, they know me from my vlogging. And they'll be like, Cerise, what's up, girl? Oh my gosh, I watch all your videos. How's Noche doing? How's Besos doing? Besos is my cat. That means kiss, side note. Noche is my dog. She's black. That means night. Those are Spanish names. And yeah, I'll be like, oh my gosh, they know my pets' names, because people watch things online, all right? People love it. Yesterday I was watching Nick at Night, I believe it was. And she was giving her synopsis on what's going on after Mark Agnifilo, I think his name is, went on Agnifilo, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. She was talking about his defense and everything like that. And then she brought on Armand Wiggins, right? Bringing the tea. All my Wiggins, we're bringing the tea. Whoa, all my Wiggins, we're bringing the tea. I love that. Oh my gosh, speaking about tea, hold on. It's hot. So, just like this video. So, I saw Armand Wiggins on her channel. I was like, shouts out, man. It was so nice to see him. Now, I love the way he talks about the Diddy trial. He's got to be by far one of my favorite. Same as one of my other favorites, a podcast with Soul. I'm like, man, this guy should just do he should just make his whole channel about going to court. He's so great. I want him to write a book about all the notes that he took during the court case. I want Armand Wiggins to do the same thing. If you guys by some chance hear this video, please do it, because Armand, I know you, Mr. Wiggins, I know your notes are probably so funny, because you're like, I wrote right here, oh, she's just a hoe. And I was like, oh my gosh, amazing. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a writer, okay? I'm also a book writer. I've written books. You can write a book once a week. You can write a passage from that book, and you can also sell the audio online, and you can also sell it as a PDF, an ebook online. Trust me, I'm also a soul coach, guys. So I already know what people will buy and what they will enjoy. And having a little souvenir from the Diddy trial, some people would love that. All right, so back to the ladies and the SEX driving. I don't believe that this is going to be something that's going to be big. If they find him guilty on anything, yeah, he could pretty much go down. One thing I would say, right? The bribery. And then, of course, the SEX driving. I know it's not driving. I know it's trafficking, but just think traffic and then driving, okay? Just like I say intimacy parties. I don't say F. You know, I just don't want those words on the video because YouTube is very sensitive. And, yeah, guys, so this is what I've been thinking. If I was on the jury, I would think that's not bribery, right? Yes, he did pay for something. And yes, he did convince them to sell it to him 100%. I think that there is an escapism somewhere there, you know? And I hope someone on the jury also sees it that way as well. Because I don't think that this is a case of a man needing to go to jail for 15 years. I'm not a Diddy fan. They made me a Diddy supporter. The prosecution, the American government, the United States of America law made me feel like Diddy is worth supporting. A man that I couldn't even stomach watching on TMZ anytime before. I would literally turn the TV off. I was like, ooh, I don't like this guy. You know, like I don't like him. There's something about him that just weirds me out. And maybe he just, you know, I don't know. But now he just, through his text messages, he really sounds like people that I've hung out with. You know, I like the way he tells Jane Doe, look, just stay in the light, you know, love, just think of love, whatever, because she was going off so much. Girl, you're talking to Diddy so roughly half the time, complaining and everything. He should have cut your ass off. That's what he should have did. He should have cut you off a long time ago. That's what he should have done. And not only that, you threw candle wax at the man. Like, this Like, you were not afraid of him. You were not afraid of him, in my opinion, okay? This is all for entertainment purposes. This is all my opinion. And Cassie, girl, I don't believe that your first experiences were with Diddy. I do believe that you were already wilding out, okay? You made your way to the industry, doing your thing, only if they knew who, was around you and what you were doing before that. And, when it comes to the pastillas, we'll call them, that's pill in Spanish. When it comes to the pastillas, you were taking them on your own. And you were taking them from him. You were taking them when you were alone without him. You were taking them with other people. I don't believe that they were forced to do anything. And in regards to him saying to Jane Doe, get on your job, do your job, I think that's because she actually planned an all-star party for him. Like, I'm going to do an all-star party for you. He was probably like, yo, this girl is into it, I like whack women, and she's like, I'm going to do an all-star party for you, Diddy. And he's like, all right, get on it. She's like, I can't do it. You can't do it. Why, Nick? Why can't you do it now? She just got him all excited. You know how men are when men think that they're going to be getting an all-star, and not when they're going to be getting an all-star, but a guy like him who thinks he's going to get an all-star, of course he's going to be like, of course he's going to say, girl, get on your job. You said you were going to do this for me. Get on it. Look what I do for you. I do this and I do that. I pay your rent $10,000 a month. I buy you nice purses. I bought you jewelry. Come on, girl. How you not going to give me my all-star? I'm on my period. I can't. Okay, well, you know what? You're just too much drama. And I am not a person who would ever give myself over to a kinky man at all. I don't have any time for it, and no energy for it, no interest in it at all. But I do know that there are men out there who love a woman that is into that. And I think he really truly believed with all his heart that she was into it. I don't believe with any other part of me, okay, 100% of me believes that he believed she was into it. And she was only complaining sometimes because those are the times that she was jealous. This is what I believe. I believe that she would go off. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. You were with so-and-so. That podcast you talked about being with another woman for 48 hours. I thought I was your only hoe. You know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. I can't do it. I can't look at this case and think with the life of me and think that he deserves 15 years. No way. And anybody saying that, oh, Mark Agnifilo is a misogynist and how dare him say the things that he did. What? That person is archaic. Mark Agnifilo is talking straight goods. He is coming out and he's saying, look, this is exactly what was going on. Okay. Cassie was like, well, if I leave Diddy, then who am I going to go with? Because Jay-Z's already taken. She knew she couldn't get Jay-Z from Beyonce. She knew that. And Beyonce would, she just stomp on Cassie, please. Don't even take me there. And I'm not even a Beyonce fan. And I'm not even a Jay-Z fan either. Make sure you guys look at my next video. This one I'm putting up today, and then I'm going to be doing a recap of, Diddy or whatever, depending on how long the jury goes out for. And then I'm going to be doing a whole entire special on Rock Nation. I'm going to be talking about who's mad at them right now, and also what's going on in their whole entire business world. The CEO, how it got started, who's involved in it, and the good, the bad, the ugly. So look out for that. But let's get back to Jay-Z and Beyonce and also Cassie. Cassie knew she wouldn't be able to get Jay-Z. And so she was like, okay, well, I'll go for Kid Cudi. And she was seeing the both of them at the same time. That is not good, you know? That's not good. And then she has the audacity to sit on the stand after she got millions and say she still loves Diddy. That really concerned me a lot because I'm like, girl, like I already said, I had a man lay hands on me and I can't stand those two men right now because they laid their hands on me. It still stings till this day. Okay. And if I was ever subpoenaed to one of their cases, I would definitely sit on that stand and I would say, yes, he hit me. And if they said, how do you feel about him today? I can't stand him because my mom didn't give birth to me for him to lay hands on me. I am my mom's child. I am a child of God. God doesn't even discipline me like that. And my mom and my dad would never discipline me like that. That man laid his hands on me and he had no right. That's that. Cassie, I still love him. You knocked up with your third child. Got a husband and everything. Oh, let's talk about the husband for a second. She said that Diddy took advantage of her. Okay? Diddy took advantage of you? Then why'd you go back to him? Because any man that does that to you have a man like Alex waiting in the wings, you don't go back. You start to develop a callus of hatred. You start to feel like, yo, man, that guy did me wrong. Before this trial, I was like, fry the man. I mean, come on, you know? I could identify with Cassie. I felt like I had an affinity with Cassie. I was young once too, dating wealthy men, you know? I also went through a stage of being around a lot of singers, a lot of famous people and stuff of that nature during my radio days. I understood that pull and that draw of getting into, you know, the VIP line at a club or at a party or going to upscale places where it's like, wow, this is great. I understand that. Of course, I never did any intimacy parties and I was never a high class hoe. But at the same time, I understand the lifestyle of the rich and famous. And I understand the lifestyle of the people who are making it in the industry. So I felt like I was like, girl, I see you. But now I'm like, girl, I see you. I've been around the block. I've been around too many women that say one thing when they are getting something and then say another when they're no longer getting something, or when they feel they don't need that man any longer, or when they feel they could replace that man. You know, yeah, she downgraded a little bit financially with Alex. She did. But he was a person who was teaching, celebrities how to work out, how to exercise, and he probably was getting paid good money, right? So she's like, okay, well, I'll just downgrade. You know, can't get with any of those other rappers. All my videos are out there. And if I get with any of those other rappers, they'll feel like I'm Diddy's leftovers. They may not want me. Any dignified man out there would be like, yo, no thank you. Like 50 Cent, all the rest of them, right? They'd be embarrassed, any of those rappers out there or singers out there, you know, or actors out there. They would feel like, I got used goods, man, you know, and I'm just going to say it how it is because that's how a lot of men are. They wouldn't be able to receive one of those videos in their email box and be able to say, it's okay, baby, I still love you. They would have to ask questions. How often did it happen? Like, what went on here? And I believe that's what Alex did. Alex said to her, what? He made you do this stuff? And she was like, yes. And he was like, whoa, okay, well, time to blackmail him, extort him. And that's exactly what I feel happened to Diddy. He was extorted. The same way he paid for that video to go away is the same way he just wanted to pay for Cassie to go away. He's like, yo, man, like, just go away, Cassie, because that was 10 years and people are going to believe her. Let me just get it dealt with, because a lot of people already were talking about Diddy being, swinging both ways. And she probably had a lot of information and he did not want it to get out. So he's like, okay, take your money. I had a good run with you for 10 years. Please just go enjoy your life. That's it. And then the prosecution's like, oh, you paid her off, did you? Time to get another black man. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not saying or accusing of the prosecution of doing that. I'm just saying, isn't it kind of strange how no one's done that to Johnny Depp? Like, we know it came out in the courtroom that he's tore apart hotel rooms and he's had women. And how many times did the rock and roll world just take home girls, young girls? We're talking young girls, So I guess we really have to kind of just look at it for what it is. This is all my opinion. And what I'm thinking is one of two things. It's going to be a hung jury, or they're going to find him innocent. Because, man, if they even choose one of the possibilities, he's going away for at least 15 years. Thank you so much for joining me. Please go ahead and hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you will be notified when I upload another video like that Rock Nation one. Take care, everyone. Make sure you're good to yourself out there. Click this video right here. Oh yeah, I'm wearing white nail polish today. And no, it's not a tribute to Diddy. I just happen to be wearing it today. I was like, oh gosh, I got white nail polish on. It's not a tribute to Diddy. I'm not into the intimacy parties. But yeah, click on this video. It will give you more information of other videos that I have on my channel, or this video right here. And if any of these videos you've already seen, make sure you hit right here, because this is that's the subscribe button. My braces. Yes, sometimes my tongue gets all wrapped up in them. You be good to yourself out there and be good to others. Make today count, because tomorrow is not promised to you. I love you. Sister Cerise. Thank you for joining me. Bye.